26. And Kyle W. Barnett Esquire is authorized to sign such documents as are necessary to effectuate this settlement. The petitioner has agreed to waive all town, highway, and special district ad valorem refunds for both years under review. And I move this adoption.
Board Member Allen?
Yes.
Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Starr?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarken?
Yes.
Supervisor Skandal?
Yes.
Resolution 121-18, resolution to purchase replacement highway equipment. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Superintendent has identified a 1995 Elgin Crosswind vacuum sweeper they would like to purchase from the Town of Isle Highway Department. Therefore, be it resolved, the Town of Shandaken Town Board approved the purchase of the Elgin Crosswind vacuum sweeper, serial number G-3047-D, for $15,000. $15,000. And move it to adoption.
Second.
Board Member Allen?
Yes.
Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Starr?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarken?
Yes.
Supervisor Skandal?
Yes.
Resolution 122-18, resolution setting a public hearing and special meeting. Whereas the Town of Shandaken has a business to attend to in a timely manner regarding certain activities relating to the town budget and amending local law number 1 of 2018. Whereas the town foresees the possible need of exceeding the New York State tax cap within its 2018 budget and will need to amend local law number 1 of 2018, Cold War Veterans Exemption. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby call for a public hearing and special meeting on a tax cap issue and local law number 4 to exceed New York State tax cap, and local law number 3, 2018, to be held on Monday, October 15th at 1 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7309, Route 28, Shandaken, New York, to hear all those in favor or against such actions, and I move its adoption.
A second?
Just to amend, it should read the 2019 budget on the second line.
Aye.
No. Board Member Allen?
Yes.
Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Starr?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarken?
Yes.
Supervisor Skandal?
Yes. Resolution 123-18, set public hearing on 2019 preliminary town budget. Whereas a public hearing is held every year for the purpose of hearing all those in favor or against the adoption of the preliminary budget for the Town of Shandaken as the annual budget. Therefore, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Shandaken will meet and review the 2019 preliminary budget and hold a public hearing thereon at the Shandaken Town Hall on Wednesday, November 7th, 2018 at 6:30 p.m., preceding the regular monthly meeting. Preceding our regular monthly meeting and at such hearing, any person may be heard in favor or against the preliminary budget as compiled, or for or against any items therein contained. I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Allen?
Yes.
Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Starr?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarken?
Yes.
Supervisor Skandal?
Yes. Resolution 124-18, resolution approving public assembly permit for the Phoenicia Turkey Trot. Was the Town of Shandaken Town Board under Section 59 of the Town of Shandaken Code has the sole authority to approve applications for the purpose of a public assembly in excess of 500 persons. And whereas the Town Board recognizes the benefits of public events to the economy of the town and also recognizes the necessity to provide adequate protections and a safe environment for its residents and participants alike. And whereas the town is in receipt of documentation illustrating compliance under the law, providing the necessary insurance, permits, security, parking, lighting, sanitation, emergency and evacuation requirements. And whereas the town board is satisfied with the application from the Phoenicia Turkey Trot for their event to be held in Phoenicia, New York on Saturday, November 24th, 2018 from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board hereby approves the permit for a public assembly to the Phoenicia Turkey Trot for their event, and that a certified copy of this resolution shall suffice as the approval certificate. And move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Allen?
Yes. Can I just ask, do we know what the revenue will go to?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
The food pantry, I
I
almost
think so, yeah. Yeah. Board Member Disco?
Yes.
It
Board
is.
Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blark?
Yes.
Supervisor Dell?
Yes.
Resolution 125-18, Halloween curfew resolution. Whereas the town of Shandaken Town Board in prior years adopted a resolution pertaining to a Halloween curfew to alleviate the damage resulting from unsupervised trick-or-treating. Therefore, be it resolved that a curfew throughout the town of Shandaken is declared for the evening of Wednesday, October 31st, 2018, commencing at 9 p.m. and continuing until daylight. Said curfew to bar all children under the age of 18 unless accompanied by a parent or guardian from being on the streets, bridges, roadways, or properties other than their own, and empowering the police to enforce the same. I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member Disco?
Sheriff.
Everybody yes?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blark?
Yes.
Supervisor Dell?
Yes.
Van Blark?
Open public comment. Alan, yes.
Are you, does this mean that you're going with this other video company and that you're giving up your public access station?
No, not at all. Okay, I didn't get that's what you were getting at with your question. So not at all. So we have areas up at Birch Creek, Lower Birch Creek, Rose Mountain Road. They currently do not receive cable service. They are on satellite solely. And we've had complaints for years about them not getting access to data, television, and whatnot. So these are, or dial-up anyway. I mean, it's, and really the satellite is lacking in providing that there's generally like a data cap when you have satellite coverage that's minimal. And the price is a little bit higher than cable service. So MTC Cable is going to be providing cable service to them where Time Warner Spectrum was not willing to go. So it's not that we're giving up, and that's what they were explaining, that they're not looking to double dip either. They're not looking to create a duplicate service where Spectrum is already covering the town. So we will still be maintaining Spectrum and Time Warner. It's just to provide them a service that
Public
they have.
access is not important.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I think eventually they want to compete.
They may want to compete, but it's not their sole purpose right now. And again, under the state broadband grant, as I explained, it's not part of
Just
the program.
cover that empty.
Again, I know when I spoke to them last month, they said that they were looking at the possibility, and now I'm sure this is way down the line, once they do their duplicate route with Route 42 Lexington,
Yeah.
that they were looking to do a trunk line down towards Mount Tremper and Boyceville area, which then that would address Muddy Brook and all those other areas down towards the valley that are
And
underserved.
that section right past the plaza. Isn't it?
I would,
That's not-
again, that'd be up to them. Any other public comments? Your cap. No, leave it for the end.
I understand,
Wait, hold on.
what I do.
Put it, Kathy.
Was checked out, that's me who were recognized.
Ladies first.
I was trying to yield to Rick, but I'll go ahead. So, I'm Kathy Nolan, and I wanted to bring some news about activities happening in Ulster County that affect our district and in the town of Shandaken, in the spirit of better exchange of information and communication. So the primary thing that I want to mention is that a week from tomorrow, so on Tuesday, October 9th, Ulster County is holding a hearing on the renaming of the Bridge Street Bridge to honor past Ulster County Sheriff Michael LaPaglia. And this is a process that began with the family coming to town and asking for this. The town of Shandaken passed a resolution endorsing this renaming, and so it came to the county. We will be holding a public hearing. It will be a time when we will bring photographs and memories of Sheriff LaPaglia forward. So if anybody wants to come and either hear that or contribute something, there'll be an opportunity for that. And I also want to mention that the legislature, the Ulster County Legislature, is looking at 2 licensing bills this would pass a law to require licensing. One of them is for electricians, and the other is for contractors. The bill to require licensing for electricians is moving along in committees and probably will come for a vote. So I have circulated a copy of that law to people. It's on the Ulster County Legislature's website. And if you're an electrician or you are concerned about having licensing or not having licensing, you have an opinion on it, there will eventually be a public hearing on that. And you can also get information to me that you feel you would like to have us consider. The potential law on licensing for contractors is being held up in committee. There's more concerns about how to draft it. The licensing bill for electricians would provide reciprocity with some of the neighboring counties. And I've been arguing to keep the licensing fees as low as possible, in line with the lowest fees that would be in some of the surrounding counties. So if you have opinions about that, please let us know, because we're trying to do something that'll be helpful. And it's up to us to decide what that would be. Thanks.
Can I ask you a question? I want to ask a question. Does that pertain to general contracting? Is that all phases of contracting, or outside of electrical, or just carpentry?
The law for contractors came about by a legislator who is concerned about home improvements, where people come in and say they'll do a job for a certain amount. So it started with that, and part of the reason it's being held up in committee is because of the question of exactly then what would it cover. Would it cover plumbing? Would it cover just woodworking? So the process for developing that law is very much earlier on, and there's no clear guide from another neighboring county to follow, whereas the electricians' laws, most of our neighboring counties do have that. So if we think it's a good idea to go in one direction or another, this is the time to have that contribution into this process.
So do you mean that means that you have to be licensed to work in Ulster County?
Yes, that's what it would
You
mean.
would have to produce a license.
Yes, and one of the reasons that I am not opposed to the electricians is that a lot of electricians have that through reciprocity with another county, and some don't, and that can disadvantage the ones that don't. With contracting, I think it's much more complicated in all the different facets, so I'm kind of waiting to see what people bring forward. But there are people here who know a lot about this, and so I can give you more information about the legislators who are drafting that and let you have a voice in that.
Is there a competency test or any kind of criteria that goes into what might determine whether somebody gets that license or not?
I believe with electrical licensing, yes, and in contracting, some places yes and some no, as I understand it. That is, maybe you know about plumbers, but different aspects of building and trades, some do have licensing tests and others don't.
Yeah,
That's my understanding.
with plumbing, you got Kingston. Kingston has a licensing program, but there's no competency test. It's basically you apply. Get it.
Just so you're on the list.
Just so you're on the list.
Does it-
But I think the electricians, again, that goes through UL. So
Underwriters.
But do you have to have insurance then? Do you have to carry insurance?
Yes, I believe that's one of the requirements in the electrician's law.
Not the electrician, but the
With the contractors. That's one of the, insurance can be difficult for the contractors, so there's been talk about whether there could be bonding, but the reason that this initiative came forward is that people were showing up and doing work and taking the money and then not finishing the work. So that's the problem we're trying to solve.
Sorry, I missed it. What time is the meeting on the 9th?
The meeting on the 9th is at 6 p.m. at the Ulster County Legislative Building, 244 Fair Street, Kingston.
Mr. Riccadella.
I have numerous. Number one, Michael Padley, they're gonna name the bridge in Phoenicia after him. He's here about 8 years in this town. He's up in Big Indian. He left bitter,
Yep.
and now they're gonna name the bridge after him. When my father got the bridge, it was out for years. They weren't even gonna put it back. And that's ridiculous. Nobody knows what's going on
He
here.
was the sheriff for 11 years. He
I
was
don't
the
care
town
if he was
councilman
sheriff
for 8 years. So I'm just trying to clarify your timeline.
He was a
You lived here
sheriff
for 8
down
years.
Ulster County, not
True.
here.
Close
Number two,
Wait, I have
Number
to
two.
change the tape.
You don't
What
need to take
tape?
this.
when I get to talk, Chuck gets to talk, everybody. With that, there's another home
I
someplace.
am, I'm gonna get that blue screen one day.
So memorialize.
Holding on, last month I couldn't talk.
Okay, Rich.
Okay,
Ready?
go.
Okay, who's getting this tax break?
What this settlement.
Who is that?
So that's Emerson, that's Catskill
Oh,
Development.
yeah,
Holdings now.
they got 10 years tax-free, you know,
What property is
They
that?
had a pilot program.
what?
They had a pilot program.
Payment in lieu of
They
taxes.
got 10 years tax-free.
Well, it wasn't necessarily
They got tax breaks for
tax-free.
10
It was-
years.
I agree with you there.
You know, our family, 54 years in business, my mother went out on the sidewalk, she broke her ankle. That was the break that she got. You know, this is ridiculous. Another one, Big John killed.
Next one, yeah.
Big John killed 6 inches of water in his basement. Since, it's building up again on 214. He wanted me to tell you that.
Oh, okay.
That has to be dug out from there all the way down as well
It's
as all these
not,
other.
we actually monitor that section and it's not filling in. So.
Oh, yeah. Who's monitoring?
And monitor, we go after every bankful event.
Oh, you and Eric?
Not me and Eric, it's the group, it's the people down at the Ashoka Watershed office. I'm gonna trust them. Go ahead, what else you got?
The doctor's office. Have you, anybody talk about getting a doctor in here? A real doctor?
I have been working behind the scenes on this forever, and I had another meeting with another physician this last week. There's a lot of nuances for trying to get a medical center because of the payments and because of all the HMOs, and it's a very hard thing to do
Yeah.
because nobody can make money doing it.
Huh.
So we're working on somebody right now who's interested in possibly doing something and bringing in his crew of people. But honestly, it's very difficult to do, and we thought it was going to be so easy, and it's not.
And as before, I was talking about these trees. You go down towards Mount Tremper, there's trees laying right on the line. I talked to the county about it. Oh, we can't do anything. Nice Egg, they sold to the Spanish
Talk
government.
to the guy on the other end of the bench there, he'll tell you it's gonna be nice there.
They're on the phone wires.
It's nice.
Cell phone company.
I don't care
It's
what
a
they're on.
Verizon.
They should be taken off, cut down.
Verizon was just there and they took one of the trees down. It was hanging over the
Yeah.
whole road. They finally took the
Yeah,
tree down.
there's numerous dead trees
I
on
know.
214 that are, they're gonna come down probably on a Sunday night, 10 below zero, and we're gonna have no,
You tell this-
electric. Huh?
Who are you telling this to? People that are gonna be up at 10 o'clock at
I'm
night?
telling it to you, so you
I
can
know,
call
this is what I'm
somebody.
saying, it's gonna be Eric and I on the phone going, what you need locked off again.
You know, these things all have to be addressed, and digging these creeks out is, we're gonna have major problems here. We were lucky we didn't get the rain that we were supposed to get, because now the trees aren't sucking up any of the water. There's gonna be life lost, and all these bridges.
Let's hope not, Rick. I hate when you throw
Well,
that
I'm
out.
telling you, roads and bridges are gonna go too, but nobody seems to,
There's nothing you're gonna stop from flood doing damage if it wants to do the, if it
and
has
all
the
these
power
trees.
and the wherewithal to do the
50,
damage, it will do
60,
the
70
damage.
years ago, they put these
If
pine
you
trees.
can clear
in,
cut back to the top of the
lovely.
mountains and it's not gonna solve the problem, then you're gonna have an erosion problem, then you're gonna say dig it out. And then you're gonna say plant some trees so it doesn't erode, and then you're gonna be
You
complaining
got
about
all
the
the
trees there.
answers all the
I'm
time.
just going back and forth with you here. Nice, what day? Yes.
I have a quick question. What's the equipment on Mount Pleasant Road in the street? I might have missed the meeting, so I don't know.
I might have missed a meeting too. On Mount Pleasant Road in the.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant
In the
Road.
street?
Huh? It's,
The DEC takes material out of that. They
Oh, is
did
that
it-
the
I don't know if
DEC?
they're doing it now, they did it last year.
no, they're doing it now, and I just didn't.
On the gravel bank there, but,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the DEC will jump in there once in a while.
oh, okay,
but that's a maintenance agreement, because that was a flood control project.
right.
That was part
And
of
then,
It's okay
and
for
then,
them.
yeah, the other thing is the house next to 16 Mount Pleasant Road, that it's being broken into by kids and they're leaving garbage. I mean, I've been picking it up, but they broke into the building again recently in the last 2
Then
weeks.
we can address that with Howie, and Howie can go and have them secure the building.
Okay, yeah, because it's open again.
But that's county, isn't it? Doesn't county own that property now?
I have no idea,
Oh.
nobody
They
seems.
bought it from the owner who was since moved, and they paid it. So.
Well, I think it's just a little
Along
dated.
stream side,
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots of New York Rising by it.
right.
okay,
I
yeah,
don't
but
know
yeah,
if county took ownership yet. I don't know if county took ownership of that, New York Rising. I
Well-
thought it was held by New York Trust or something like that. We'll look into it.
okay.
We can look into it.
Because that was supposed to be taken down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's New York
yeah,
Rising.
right. New York Rising, yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you tell me what's going on on Willowborough Road with the big trucks? Are they,
Where?
are
We're
they
trying
doing
to-
the embankment? Are they showing the
We're
embankment?
doing this.
That's at the association.
It's all the way up here.
Yeah.
That's
All the way
from
up the
there.
end of the ground, they're doing the street, these DEP is doing the
Oh,
street
oh, they can do
to
it.
stabilize the stream that comes at the end of the ground. It's about keep the water clean, less turbidity, but it also keeps all that gravel from coming down. That's right.
There's a lot of big stones going in up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Have you driven up
A
there?
lot. No, but
Huge
three big
construction
trucks go by every day.
Yeah, it's a big construction project. I'm surprised you haven't gone up
Where is it?
there. Any other? Flowers, yes.
Yeah, last thing out
Yes,
of
ma'am.
curiosity, what's going on with the big gold thingy in the Buddha?
Oh, yeah,
The statue,
yeah.
nothing yet.
Howie, is that the property that has like a huge tree down on it? Like it looks like it was starting to be developed and then it's got like a huge tree across like a road area going up?
No, this is across from Fawn Hill.
Yeah, it's directly
Right.
across. It's a narrow frontage.
Oh, it's a narrow frontage?
The property is to the back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There may have been a log landing there for a log truck.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's where Randy, the tree came down, hit him in the head. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, there's no other public comments?
Well,
I'd like to, I will throw this all the way back. And again, I'd just like to reiterate our sincerest respect for past Chief Henry Joe Strauss. But I'd like to close the meeting in memory of Lawrence Larry Joyce, Raymond McCoy, Henry Joe Strauss, Raymond Conklin, Nicholas Shumatoff, and Christine Nielsen. Entertained motion.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? Those of you who don't know, Nicholas Shumatoff is he who stands firm.
He who stands tall.
I thought it was called Phil, it was Farm. You know anything about his past?
Tax assessments.
the unfortunate thing is
Well.